Ave everyone, it's 0840 on November 2nd, Monday, 2015. First off, let me apologize for the not great lighting. I had an awesome 3-point setup here, and then one of my lamp handles broke. I mentioned that in a video that I shot earlier, but that has not yet been uploaded and probably won't be uploaded till at least December, and quite probably not till much later because you know how this goes. The video in which I mentioned that was the one and only one I shot in September. That, plus the 4 I shot in July and the 2 I uploaded in June are the only videos I've shot here in Rapid City because I've been extremely busy. And even though for the last month or so I haven't been extremely busy, well, I've been extremely busy, but I've been able to manage my free time so that it exists, and I could have shot and edited and uploaded some vlogs, but for various reasons I did not. But I'm doing it now, and while this might not end up being the shortest vlog ever uploaded to my channel, it will definitely be the most condensed, smashing the events of the last 4 months into less than 15 minutes because I have to be at class at 9 o'clock, so yeah, here goes. Gonna skip July because I was living here working at Walmart, and we did do some awesome travels and stuff, but I shot those in Vidrio videos, which will be uploaded someday, and don't really have an effect on the life right now, so I'll leave it for those. Same thing goes for the first half of August, and the second half, school started. I believe the 16th was the Thursday that everyone showed up. I don't have time to check the dates right now, but anyway, my first week experience was the Omnichicle Bridge program for Native American students, where us Native American students who applied and were accepted into the program got to show up a week early and basically get a lot of presentations about school and learn stuff and hang out and have team building activities that weren't called team building activities. They were more like just friend building activities, the goal of which was to foster friendship among us, students of ethnically similar backgrounds, and also just to give us a leg up into the college since we were of a disadvantaged race. I'd comment on that, but I don't have time. Anyhow, that week was awesome. Hanging out all day, every day with the same small group of people is exactly my kind of thing, and it culminated on Thursday when all the other freshmen showed up, and there was a giant game night in one of the common areas for the people living in the dorm, as well as a giant game of Ultimate Frisbee. Well, so giant they had to split it into 3 games, and I participated in one and had a great time, being reminded of home and whatnot in the Ultimate Frisbee setting. But starting the next day, things went downhill because, well, pretty much everybody retired to the dorms and solitude or hanging out with their own clique of friends, and since I didn't have one of those things, well, I had solitude but didn't want it, and couldn't find anyone else hanging about, just looking for someone to hang out with, so yeah. The first week was okay, but working at Walmart proved to be a real drag because all I had free was the evenings and the weekends. All other time was taken up with class and homework, and since those were the only times of less than 20 hours a week Walmart demanded I work, every one of those times I was available, so I had a choice. While I technically could continue working at Walmart, it would mean I'd have 0 time for friends and extracurricular activities. So I quit that job since, at the advice of my mom, we deduced that working on the aero design team here at school would look better on an engineer's resume than working at Walmart for a few months. Man, I'm gonna be cutting it real close with time, but here goes. End of August, early September, I was super depressed and demotivated, and while I was doing well in classes, and they were actually fun and fairly easy, I take that back, very easy for the most part, and really easy for the ones that weren't very easy, which is slightly harder in my scale, because that's not clear. Anyway, got involved in a lot of clubs and such, the drama club, the ham radio club, the aero design club, the ping pong club, the school newspaper, and of course InterVarsity, which is a big Christian group here on campus that has a meeting every Thursday night and also does other things. That would probably be the one I'm most involved in. Maybe drama by time spent, but that's only because they meet 3 times a week to rehearse and whatnot. But anyway, they're all fun, but I didn't really have a sense of camaraderie and friendship until the end of September. And still, by my definition of friendship, there's only 2 or 3 people that I might hesitatingly call friends. No offense to you 2 or 3 if you're watching, or anyone else who thinks they're probably outside that group, but friend is a very specific and somewhat sacred word to me, so it's very hard to break into that elite group. As a matter of fact, if anyone had done it in less than 2 months, I would have been very, very impressed. During that depressed time, I really drew a lot closer to God. I think it was really good for me now, learning to rely that God will take care of it, whatever happens. I mean, I knew that in my head, but I've never really had to apply it to something this major as going forward for the rest of my life. So yeah, and at the end of September, early October, I came out of the depression, and while I hesitate to say I'm enjoying it here, I at least have resigned myself to my fate and am enjoying certain aspects of it. And the classes are still very fun and for the most part easy, though one or two of them have become a little bit more difficult. Oh, one thing that I'll probably make a whole separate video about because I'm running out of time. My plan is to follow this up with a highlights video. This is like a very broad overview, and then someday soon upload a slightly more detailed, slightly less detailed highlights video where I'm just going to go over 2 or 3 things that have happened that have been kind of the highlights. But anyway, one of those highlights is Elton John came through town on his final Curtain tour. It's not his final tour, but, well, I'll talk about that later. Elton John came to town and my mom came out and we saw him and I hung out with my mom and it was awesome, although it was a little bit stressful trying to balance homework and hanging out. Which brings me to late October. The last weekend of October is Parents' Weekend here, and so my mom came out again for that, and she's out now through Thursday. So I've been hanging out with her, and while I'm much less stressed about it because I'm, while still struggling, relying a lot more on God to handle and give me the ability to do things. And also I was able to get all my homework done pretty much a week in advance, so I had plenty of free time to hang out with her. I forgot where I was going with this, but yeah, she's out, it's fun, and great. The rest of October I was just working at school stuff and hanging out with the club people and whatnot. So yeah, which brings me to November. No shave November, obviously, but do not despair, I did not grow all this in 2 days. I haven't shaved since the 29th, because I like to start early since I've recently started the tradition of shaving Thanksgiving morning so I don't look like a weird person, crazy person. Man, talking this fast is really messing with my brain. But anyway, looking like a schlep during the Thanksgiving family photos. It's also NaNoWriMo, and for the first time ever, and by ever I mean since 2013, 2 years ago when I first did it, I didn't write a single word on day 1. It's a little bit disheartening because it just shows how hard it's going to be to win NaNoWriMo this year, balancing all this homework load and whatnot. I'm still confident I can do it. What I'm going to write about, though, I haven't decided, which is probably one of the reasons why I didn't write anything yesterday. Got one idea for a novel, but I'm not super excited about it. And I wanted to write a book of poetry, but now that I'm not depressed, I don't have anything to write about. So, yeah, we'll see. Might just write random poems here, bits of random short stories there, and just hope I can get 50,000 words on a page by November's end. Wish me luck, because it will be very difficult. And because it will be very difficult, I'll probably also not be vlogging at all during the month of November, because all my free time will be taken up noveling. I'll try and get that highlight video up, though, before I completely lose myself, and this video, of course. One last aside before I run out, this is, it's 8:51. So yeah, really quick. A week or so ago I did sit down to do this bird's eye view video back in late October, and it ended up being 40 minutes of me pontificating on stuff. Some of it was good, most of it was not, but the reason I didn't upload anything is, if you follow me on Twitter you already know, my movie editor cut out, so that was awful, but I got it fixed. Hopefully this one will be up soon without any problems, and I really gotta go. V out.